Just a couple things before we start this one. This is definitely a unique episode. It is our first video Zoom episode. There are some technical difficulties, unfortunately. We're working all that out. It should be much better in the future. And if you are listening to the audio-only version, there is a video version on YouTube. Also, we talk about the show coming up May 4th for the HELLZAPOPPIN Freakshow Circus. Unfortunately, that show has been canceled, but we decided to release this episode anyway because fucking why not? One final thing here. I'm not going to put an ad this time for the Patreon. You guys know what's up. It's $1. There's a free episode every week plus bonus content. We just did a video commentary of the latest Power Rangers special and put that up there. It's pretty fucking hilarious. So, guys, enjoy this episode, and thanks for being a part of the Dead Mom Club.
Welcome to the Dead Mom Club.
Well, Mom dead.
It's super exclusive.
Yay.
We're live.
Hell yeah. We were just talking about Ross's enormous floppy dick.
Once again, the subject of
I'm gonna cut it out.
Justin's nightmares persist.
Cut it
No.
out.
Get the fuck out of here, Joey Gladstone, head ass.
Damn.
I don't know
Oh,
the fuck
man.
that is, unless that's the guy from Full House.
It is.
Okay.
You fucking poser.
Well,
Dave Coulier, motherfucker.
I would have knew that name.
Hey, shout out to our guests that you guys are going to hear shortly and see.
Shorty.
Shorty Dangerously. We had a good little time talking about their upcoming show on May the 4th here in Dothan. Ross asked him about his dick.
Sure enough.
So make sure, and especially you guys, stick around for when we ask him the initiating question, is your mom dead?
That is one of our defining moments on this podcast, I think.
I've never laughed harder after anything
Me neither.
than I laughed when...
My fucking throat hurts so bad from laughing at that.
That's what it was. It wasn't my dick earlier.
No.
That dude was cooking Ross. He was like, well, why don't you ask your girlfriend? I was there.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, you probably answered that 100 times.
Justin damn sure did. You stole his thunder. You were like, bro, you've been waiting to say that shit.
I shouldn't have said that.
No, but it's all
I
good.
didn't mean it to be a dick. I was just like thinking out loud. Like,
And we
I
do-
bet he's been asked that like a million times.
We do want to let our listeners know that like our broke asses couldn't afford the full version of Zoom.
Well, we weren't
Oh, yeah.
aware.
Yeah, that's why this.
I've been on work Zoom calls, and that ain't never been a fucking problem.
well,
That's because your work pays for it.
Yeah.
damn it, you should have used your work account.
I don't have a work account. That's the thing. Like, I get invited to other ones by like municipalities and shit for things that
That
I
makes
do.
a lot more sense.
And they'll be like, "Here's the link," and I never thought that we would. It's pretty funny, actually. I think the listeners will.
No, yeah, and you can tell when we're trying to count down and trying to sign off, and we're like, "Oh yeah. Okay, well, all right, tell us about what you got coming up. But hurry up." Like,
We didn't want to stop. I mean, it was embarrassing as shit. But
we
whatever.
started a vibe.
Yeah, we
And
had
then we
just
were-
kind of gotten things going, and then it was like, oh, and that's our time.
And Justin was writing signs on paper plates.
I'll tell you what, Jimbo, it's time for us to wrap up the show.
All right, so with Hugh Neutron giving us the cosign, here is Dead Mom Club episode. All right, welcome to the Dead Mom Club, and we are joined with a very special guest, also doing our live video recording. We've never done this before.
Video. First ever one of these. You get to look at all of this in real time with our guest here. Welcome. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Well, what's up, guys? I'm Shorty Dangerously, and I am the half man on HELLZAPOPPIN CIRCUS SIDESHOw.
Yeah.
And just to illustrate that, there you go.
Oh, hell yeah.
So, yeah.
So, I have a question. It just immediately pointed out to me. Why are you wearing shorts?
Because I gotta cover up my
Oh, okay.
Wait,
All right.
you
Yeah.
still have a dick?
yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
You're a lady didn't tell you or what?
She omitted that detail.
He's had that one loaded, man.
Yeah.
People
Oh
ask him
no, that
all
was
the
that
time.
one's always in the chamber, ready to go.
Hell yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
of course.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, I mean, what a fortunate like turn of events, right? Because I assume
Yeah.
that you weren't born a half man.
No, excuse me. I was born with a condition called sacraligenesis, which
Holy
is basically
Is that where Sacagawea comes in the night and steals your legs?
no.
Okay.
Damn, dude.
Come on, man. I've had 4-year-olds flip me better shit than that. Come on, dude. You
Oh.
gotta do
All right,
better.
let the
Come
man
on, work
talk
on
about
that.
Yeah.
Work
So
on that.
we gotta. Okay. So back to
It's
your
a-
story. Yeah.
Yeah, it's called sacraligenesis, which is basically a misformation or a missing part of my spine. So when I was born, I did have legs, but they were atrophied and they had no muscle mass, no tissue. It was just skin and bone structure. So as you know, when something is on your body, like, and it doesn't get proper circulation or it doesn't have any muscle mass, it dies. The
Right.
tissue dies. So then
Wow.
that would have led to massive infections throughout my body. So they were
Yeah.
amputated when I was 2.5 to prevent that.
Okay. All
Wow.
right. That's brutal.
And so when did you decide you could make money off of it?
Yeah.
Because that's something a lot of people. I feel like my dad had both of his legs amputated, but and he was ashamed and never wanted to. It's very endearing to see that you could make money off of a condition that might bum a lot of other people out.
Well, that's something that I didn't really, I mean, for lack of a better term, discover until about 10 years ago, 11 years ago.
Yeah.
I had always, wanted to be in entertainment, be a rock star. Like every kid, they have their dream job. Like,
Yeah.
I want to be a fireman. I want to be an astronaut. Nah, dude, fuck that. I wanted to be I want to be a rock star.
Okay.
Right.
Like I'd have little concerts in the living room with my family and parents and all that, and I had a little guitar and blah 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 blah.
Oh, so you jam.
And no, I was terrible at it. And so,
But it was the show you liked. You liked giving the show.
I liked giving
Yeah.
the show, being the attention, the lights, all that. And I always liked going to concerts and stuff like that. And when I was about 19 years old, I got into DJing.
Okay.
Strip clubs, nightclubs, private parties, whatever you wanted. If you wanted a rock and roll show or a party, you call me and I'll
Right.
come
Right.
down in your place, So I started doing that when I was about 25 or 2019. Did college for a year. It wasn't for me. Decided I wanted the money then, and went in entertainment, and then did that for about 15 years, and then met Bryce, the owner, producer, and director of HELLZAPOPPIN,
Yeah.
through a mutual friend. And I had already been exposed to a little bit of sideshow in a different type of sideshow, but it wasn't anything like HELLZAPOPPIN. So
Was it a pornographic sideshow?
no, it was just very family friendly. And
Okay.
like
yeah.
what you'd see at a fair,
Yeah, because I was watching some.
You like dress you up as a clown or something?
Well, no, like they
no.
do some gnarly shit on in their videos, man. Like they fucking like.
Oh, no, I meant it's
They're-
a family friendly one.
Yeah. So he's. Oh, okay. So he's saying,
Yeah.
but that's
Yeah,
what I'm saying. So he did the family friendly one, and then they do some like just fucking off the wall, uncensored shit on their
Yeah.
one they
Right.
do now.
Yeah,
Not
then
really.
I
So,
a mutual friend of mine introduced me to Bryce, and he's like, hey, Bryce hit me up, I hit him up, and he's like, hey man, and I live in Daytona Beach, Florida, and he was in Jacksonville at the time, and he's like,
Right.
hey, we got some shows coming up here, you want to kind of jump on and kind of show me what you can do? And I'm like, all right, so
yeah.
I went up there and did my thing. And that was 10 years ago, March 1st of 2013. So the rest is history, as they say.
Wow.
So then, what is your thing? Like, what's your act?
I am an acrobat,
Oh, that's cool.
a stuntman, a daredevil. I have 3 acts in the show that I perform, and two of the 3 of them, I risk the most important thing to me that I have on my body, which is my hands.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were going somewhere else. I was like, damn, bro. Are you lighting your balls on fire?
You guys got incredible upper body strength because I've seen y'all do some shit.
Yeah, so I walk on broken glass
Oh,
with
wow.
my hands while it's on fire.
Oh yeah.
And,
While the glass is on fire?
Yeah.
Wow.
Gotta
Yeah.
give it up for people.
Yeah, I mean you can't just walk on regular glass. You gotta
Right.
Do you do
gotta
it slow
turn that up a
or
little
are you
bit.
like you scuttling across it?
It's a funny word.
I'm more jumping into the fire.
Oh yeah.
Oh, shit.
So and that's and then the other one I do is it's an old classic magic trick. If you go on YouTube or online and search magic tricks gone wrong, this is the first one that comes up. I take I take a spike and put it under a cup, and then I put 4 other cups out there.
Yeah.
And I have an audience member mix up the cups with my back turned, and then I try to guess which cup has a spike by smashing the cup with my hand. So,
and you fucked your hand up.
Oh,
not yet.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying because you looked up
Gone
wrong.
Gone wrong.
Yeah, so I thought you like fucking,
people have done it, fucked up there.
Yeah.
And just to put it in a little bit of perspective, even David Blaine screwed this up.
Oh man.
So I mean, if David Blaine screwed it up and my dumbass is up there doing it, like why not?
Yeah. So how did you how do you recruit? Because it's not just you. You guys have a whole crew. Yeah. How do you get into, I guess, recruiting someone else to be a part of this this show that you've got? Shut the fuck up.
It's about 50-50 to where they maybe approach us or
Really?
we approach them. We look on Instagram a lot.
Right.
Looking for people, and then there's sometimes we use a booking agent. We'll contact a booking agent and say, hey, you got anybody on your roster? And then
that was what I was thinking more of, because I mean, you wouldn't just put an ad on Craigslist like
no.
There's got to be a that leads me to a different question. So I know I've seen the one of your performers that's tattooed all over, the lizard.
Yeah, the lizard man.
Lizard man. I remember seeing him on like Ripley's Believe It or Not and shit, like when I was a kid.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So how did you guys meet? I mean, like, how does
Well, it goes back to the history of HELLZAPOPPIN. Bryce started HELLZAPOPPIN after he had been managing rock bands for 15 years.
Yeah.
And then he partnered with another guy in a sideshow, and they were called the name escapes me right now, but it was another show, and he was a partner on it. And Bryce just basically got tired of managing other people's projects and decided he wanted to manage his own. And so he brought Lizard along with that and that whole thing, and the incarnation of HELLZAPOPPIN.
Oh, that's cool.
And so Lizard and Bryce have been working together on and off for about 14, 15 years. And I got to meet him for the first time back in 2013, when I was on my first tour with HELLZAPOPPIN.
Right.
Call themselves Lizard? That's sick as fuck.
He's the Lizard Man.
He's not going to drop his government name on our podcast.
Yeah, no. That's what he goes by.
Is it on his credit card? Is that the name on his credit card? Is the Lizard Man?
I don't think so. I mean, I know his government name, but I don't know how to call him back. Just like everybody on the show, we all know each other. We all know our legit names, but
you call each other your stage names.
Yeah, it makes things easier, and that way there's no confusion. And like if I need Lizard for something, like, hey Lizard, let's do this, or Lizard, what do you think about this? I mean, it's just for us, it's commonplace. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
It's like,
and then also, I would imagine it would get, because I've always used my real name as like my stage name. So I've always imagined that it would You all right, boy?
Yeah, I'm good.
I always imagine that it would be hard to train yourself to listen for another name and like be, by people in public or whatever. Like it would be hard to kind of.
It's almost disrespectful to be like, I know your real name.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, that's the thing too. And and when I hear my real name, I tend to jump around like, "Oh, what's going on?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Is
I'm
my
looking, I'm
attorney?
thinking I'm in trouble or something. Like it's like one of my relatives or something's yelling at me for something.
Yeah.
So
It's just IRS showed up and they're like, "Hey,
exactly. And so there are a few fans out there that have become friends,
right."
and when they see me, they call me by my official name, I guess you'll call it. But even then, it's few and far between because that's just what they know us as. That's how we get introduced to people. So
Right. Well, we have tons of comics that we know their stage name and we know their real name and we just call them by their stage name.
Yeah.
Pretty much every,
yeah.
That's what they prefer typically.
Yeah, except for the three of us who all go by our regular names.
Yeah.
So
I got one.
go ahead.
You mentioned like as a kid, I was the same kid. I wanted to be a rock and roll star. I've been in a few bands and played guitar and shit. And like, I noticed that you guys did Riot Fest. How many? I mean, I just kind of wanted to know about what that experience was like, because that's like a legendary.
That video was sick.
Riot Fest is awesome. When I saw you guys were on it, I was like, hell yeah, that must have been pretty cool. I would imagine.
Yeah, it was awesome. We had our circus tent production there, and we did maybe 3 or 4 shows a day over the course of the festival and the weekend. And there's probably 700 or 800 people in that tent every time. It was nuts to butts in there,
Okay.
Yeah.
And as you saw in the video, I was crowd surfing, so like
Sick. Yeah.
yeah, so like there's enough people for that. And it's really cool because when you're an artist and you're on that stuff, you get the credentials.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
you go wherever you want.
You
wanna
build
go
your
check
resume.
out-
Right. You build your resume.
So for you guys who may not know, the Riot Fest was known for like the Misfits coming back as the original 3 or whatever.
Oh,
Okay.
Or 4, I guess. But like the Misfits came back and did like a true original lineup.
Yeah, they
show
did.
among other bands, and it was just like when people posted videos, nobody believed it until they saw it for themselves. Like, holy shit, they really did. And it was a big deal for Misfit kids like me growing up.
Oh yeah, big time. Like there were people that were at that festival just to see them.
Yeah,
like that
from
year.
all around the world.
Yeah, that was a big deal for them. I mean, that kind of thing, and like, I mean, because of Riot Fest, I've been able to see. I saw Prodigy. I've seen 9 Inch Nails, Snoop, Ice Cube. I got to be on stage with Motorhead in 2015 in Canada.
I fucks with Motorhead, man.
Yeah.
that guy
Oh,
from
dude.
Prodigy made having like old man hair cool as fuck.
Yeah, and then
That
this
was
one.
shit.
This one is actually my favorite one. Well, besides Lemmy, besides being on there with Lemmy and Phil and all those guys, I got to see Jerry Lee Lewis,
Oh shit.
Wow.
and and that old man still had it, and it was.
He was at
awesome
Riot
because-
Fest?
Yeah,
What the
dude.
fuck?
It was awesome, man.
That's crazy.
It was so cool.
Yeah.
And we were sitting side stage right next to him before he went on, and he said hi to us and was really nice. And he's out there playing, and it was like probably somewhere between maybe 8 and 10,000 people in front of the stage,
Shit.
in front of him, and like you could see on his face, he's like looking back at his drummer, and he's just all like, he couldn't believe it, and like the coolest thing ever was a fucking circle pit opened up.
Oh, yeah.
dude.
And he's up there and he's playing the piano, and he looks out there and he's just like it blew him away. It was so cool, man. He'd never seen anything
He
like
was
that
just having the time
before.
of his life.
Well, it's
Oh,
like a
he
young
was,
crowd.
man.
People that
It's-
wouldn't
Yeah.
normally go to
Yeah.
the Jerry Lee Lewis show were like, hell
Yeah.
yeah. I'll
And
go
they were
to
out there
this.
doing the death swarm of the ants.
Yes,
That's
it was,
yeah.
I really like that.
it was unreal, man. It was so cool to see and watch, and just to be there and feel that vibe and that energy. It was so great.
I haven't been in years, but I used to go to a lot of metal shows and like getting in the pit and just getting thrown around is one of the.
I know it totally takes you by surprise that he's been to a lot of metal shows.
I couldn't tell.
Yeah, there's nothing at all that gives that away.
a member of Death Clock.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. You're on the
that is.
Club comedy podcast here, so
Apologize for the interruption here, but I had to explain something. You see, those Dead Mom Club boys, they have a gimmick where they ask if your mom is dead. If the other person says yes, typically they blow party blowers. In this case, the Zoom application didn't pick it up, and those DMC boys couldn't stop laughing about that.
I guess the biggest question.
This is the magical question. Yeah, this
is your mother dead?
Yes.
You are now a member of our club. That's actually how we all kind of got to get. All of our moms are dead as well.
About it, but
It's an exclusive club.
Yeah, she passed away. It'll be 23 years next month.
Oh man.
Oh wow.
So yeah.
Yeah, ours are about a year. Right. Yeah, we're still.
It's fresh for all of us.
A lot of times we use it to kind of be comics or give comedic relief, or we write bits about it. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, cool.
Yeah.
And this is just to get it out of.
For real.
And
I missed that one part that Justin said.
Oh, I said thanks again for giving us your time today.
Oh, hey, no problem, guys. No problem at all. I had plenty of it too.
So you're shit. I've got a legitimate question, and then I've got my other pod question. Our other pod question is, what percentage of you is gay? We asked this to all of our guests. Yeah, we ask every one of our guests.
Well, I mean, like that. I mean, if you think about it, everybody's a little bit gay. So
I agree. A lot of people.
I guess we're.
I mean, I would say probably like maybe 1%.
1%.
Yeah,
that's a good answer.
Right.
We haven't got that one yet.
You know, because you're like you see a good looking guy. I mean, you got like, hey,
that's a decent looking dude.
Yeah, and I'm not saying I'd want to hook up or nothing, but hey, man, he's put together well. Good on him, kind of a thing.
We've been talking to a lot of honest people because
everybody else is like, man, I ain't no gay. They ain't shit gay about me.
No, we've gotten 17%, 25%.
Yeah.
I think Sprinkle said 100% not gay. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why we started doing that, but it's just a bit that's weird.
I asked two people, and then I was like, I'm going to do this all the time.
Yeah. What's your other question you had? I know you had
the legitimate question. So, when he was like, thank you for your time, I wanted to say, so we do have you here for a reason, and that's because you're coming to Dothan here on May the 4th.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Star Wars Day.
The Star Wars Day. But you guys have been here to Dothan before, haven't you?
If it was before I joined the show, and
okay.
This year is Bryce named this tour the 40th anniversary Decade of Destruction tour.
There you go.
It's my 10th year on HELLZAPOPPIN, so
like it.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been a lot of fun, a lot of memories. Bryce and I have been through hell and back, and it's a testament to the hard work and dedication.
Where your tenure kicks in and they can't fire you.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if Bryce could fire me. I mean,
that was the guy I spoke with, I think, initially in trying to get you. He spoke highly of you, man. Like you were well respected. He was like, man, everything's around him. You got to talk to him. You got to do, and so most people are like, yeah, but we got to. Like they'll talk for you, and he didn't want to do that. He respected you so much to just let me, talk to you.
Yeah,
myself.
Him and I, and like I was saying, you talk about the dedication, the hard work, but for me, it's a little bit of that, but it's more of the testament for me of Bryce and mine's relationship over the last 10 years. The fact that we haven't, there has never been a time where we have had a major. I mean, we've argued. And had some lot of arguments.
Right.
Our biggest fight has been over sour cream.
We fight all the time. We fight all the time. So I'm just sitting here like, yes, baby, yes, I know.
Yes, child.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right,
1%
childhood.
my ass.
1% my ass. So speaking of my ass, and speaking of your 1% being gay, I would assume that you would be a top.
Wow, you just
1%. He's not going that far. He's not thinking about that
Well,
one.
I mean,
No,
you can stretch 1% a little bit. Like,
Damn, dude.
like, how you gonna do me like that, man? Shit. Wow.
yeah, I think it would have been worse if I would have been like, well, I assume you're naturally a bottom. you know,
Yeah.
like, you know, I
I don't really have an answer for that because I don't know. I've never been put in that situation.
well, we can. Ross knows the thing or two about being a power top.
Yeah, for sure. I do have an interesting question for you, Shorty.
Go
Like,
ahead.
So if you're in bed with somebody's girl, right, and like they catch you, right, you're naked with them, right, and you got to run out because you don't have your shorts in this instance. When you're running, does your dick drag behind you like a little R2D2?
You're gonna have to. Tell you what. Come to the show and you'll find out.
Dude, I'm not letting you anywhere near my.
He's gonna just streak across the stage and be
No,
like, "Fuck you, Ross."
Come to the show and you'll find out. I promise you.
All right, sounds good.
So, how is it? So let me ask you this: when you're talking about the show, so I know that the southern states are a little bit more kind of not conservative, but they're not as. I don't think they're as comfortable to grab onto the tone of your guys' shows. Like the 21 and up scene is, they want all family friendly shit. So have you seen, like, does that reflect whenever you guys have a show down here? People kind of being in the Bible Belt and all that, or?
No, not really. We do all ages shows. In fact, a lot of our shows have been all ages.
Oh, okay. All right.
And
Yeah.
There's been a lot of kids. It's really venue specific. Like
Okay,
depending
yeah.
on what the venue allows. If the venue allows all ages, then we do it. But we had a few
Right.
shows this year where they are 18 and up, 21 and up. And when that happens, obviously things are a little more colorful in the language and whatnot.
Right.
And some of the jokes are a little more explicit.
Right.
But
It's almost the same with what we do, where we have to conform kind of to the venue when we're writing material and
right.
and everything like that.
We have different. We have our family friendly show, and then we have our adult show, and it usually just we tend to omit the word fuck.
Right, I got
we
you.
don't say fuck at all, or try not to, unless
Yeah.
it's like something that is really, it's poignant or a point in the act that
Right. The
Yeah.
emphasis is needed and all that. Yeah.
Right,
I
but
got
we're
you.
not out there just blah, 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 just to throw it out there because we found that when you start cussing and that's all you can do is up there, I'm gonna fucking do this and this, fucking me or fucking
Right,
mother, and
Right.
like that. As somebody on stage and as an entertainer and performer, that just makes you look weak, because
yeah.
you can't come up with something better than the fuck.
And we have heard that before. Right. We have heard that before.
As a weak performer, I'm trying to curb that shit myself.
But you know
No.
what I'm saying? It's like you can't, you don't have any.
You're limiting
You're not
yourself to that one word. Yeah.
Exactly, and you're not being creative, and you're showing a lack of creativity if that's all you can do is get out there and throw a bunch of obscenities at the audience rather than like actually communicating with them.
Right. Sometimes you have to just create shit like Lil Eric and just other words that,
Yeah.
you can't.
Fun.
Yeah.
More
You
fun
can't.
and more colorful.
Right. And FUD. And,
He has no idea.
Yeah.
yeah. So, he'll, okay. All right. So has the lizard man told you that he regrets any of his tattoos?
No, and I know for a fact he doesn't.
What about the tongue?
That guy's psyched on being a lizard, isn't he?
Holy shit. So I'm about to ask a really so has he ever been with two women and then used the tongue
That's a good question.
like on both of them at the same time?
That's a question for him at the show.
Hell yeah.
Or two
I-
dudes, I mean,
No, I don't know about I don't know so much to women. I do know he's been married for about 20 years, but we have shared some stories about back when he was single, and
Dude, his wife's probably pumped. She probably gets like the
Oh, them bitches are in there doing like Hulk Hogan poses and shit, man. Like all fucking yeah. No, that's pretty cool. So what is being on the road? What's the craziest shit that you've ran into? Something that you have, like every pod tries to ask the same questions and every interviewer, but we want like explicitly crazy shit that you've seen on the road.
I bet they've seen plenty of titties. Crowds that they do sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
What's
don't
the
know.
titty
That's I've lost count.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
that's a lot of titties.
Yeah. Well, okay. So
Um,
what do you think then is the most like shocking stunt that you guys have pulled off?
There's a good one. Yeah.
We had a crossbow archer on the show, and we've
Mhm.
had archers on the show, and the crossbow archer Willow Loren was the I say human target because that's the term that we use,
Right.
but she's the one that gets the balloon shot out of her hand or the
Oh,
flower shot
okay.
out of her mouth.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Man.
Okay.
You know,
Wow.
and so we had that, that was pretty intense. And then we also had a regular archer that had a recurve bow and just was free aiming, didn't have the scopes or none of that. And I was the target for that, and she would shoot dollar bills and balloons out of my mouth and all kinds of stuff.
Fuck.
Yeah.
No. I don't know if I could do it, man. Do you get is there like a high that you get off of the adrenaline from doing these things?
Absolutely.
Do you still feel the same doing your like very first stunt? Do you still get the same like jitters and the same adrenaline doing it now, all these years later?
Well, yes and no. There's certain nights where you just kind of get up there and you go through the motions, you get it done.
Right.
And it's just like a regular day at the office. But then there's those nights, if you're at a really kick-ass venue and all the elements are right, the crowd is whipped up into a frenzy and they're loud and going crazy. You still get that charge, and that sort of thing. And like you'll come off stage, yeah, that was a good one, that kind of thing. Or
right.
But and then like when you're Riot Fest or we performed at Wacken Festival in Germany.
Whoa,
in 2018,
shit.
yeah. So that was incredible, and I was cheesing the whole time. And the first time we headlined the Whiskey A Go Go out in LA, we had a guy with us. Oh, it was so cool. That was a bucket. That was Broadway. That was it's almost like being on Broadway for me.
Right.
We had a guy with us. He did a thing where he made like bondage gear, like collars, leather goods, floggers, paddles, all that stuff. And so he came on the road with us and would set up like a vending spot at our shows. Like he came on tour with us.
Did he ever model him? Did you guys ever model him?
No, he just set everything. He just set everything up, and then and then he parlayed that into some into some deals out, in the cities we were in.
Right,
he was invited back to come to like the bondage clubs and the fetish balls to sell his stuff.
Fetish balls.
But he
Fetish balls.
He saw me. He's told me he saw us at the Whiskey A Go Go when we were there, and he came up to me after the show. He's like, and he'd seen our show a million times, in other cities and whatnot. He goes, "Man," he's like, "I've seen you on stage. I've lost count how many times on stage." He goes, "And tonight you just were giddy up there. You just were you just looked so happy." So there's times like that when you're doing stuff like that where you're like up there and you're looking around, and you're like, "Holy shit, I'm doing this." This is like it's one of those things of like everything you've ever worked for and all the bullshit you've gone through. That's what makes it all worth it when you're in that moment and that kind of a moment is happening. You're like, this is why I do what I do.
Yeah, it's the same with almost to an extent with being a comic. We have we're just running on the laugh. And the
exactly.
laugh is right. I started like integrating wrestling terms into comedy, so I'm like the pop. You're in it for the pop.
Exactly. So am I.
Right.
Use a lot of that. I use a lot of that psychology
right.
when I'm putting together things in my act and when I'm talking and I even have my entrance in every show was always like for the last 3 or 4 years I came out when I entered the stage, I came out to Motorhead the game.
Oh, time to play the game.
Yeah, so
you have
it
no
just,
idea what I'm talking about right now.
yeah, so
Yeah.
like it started. We'd hit it. We queued the song up to where it started with the hoo-ha, and
Yeah.
then went into the whole thing, and then I took
Do
it
you
all
spit
the
the
way
water?
through. No, I tried.
Oh fuck! I
Dude,
thought you.
dude, I tried that once, and it was an epic fail.
You just shot streams on people.
I don't know what I did. I think most of it ended up coming back down my chin.
Oh,
It was not a good look. I was like, all right, well that didn't work. We're not going to do that anymore, kind of a thing. So
yeah. I fucks
but,
with the. I've seen the one where you guys are. There's like the smoke machine, and there's
Yep.
shit. Is it nothing but a G thing that's playing on, or there's
Yeah.
something? Yeah,
that was something I did years ago. Like I said, we're always, over the years, I've always
adapted.
a lot of
and
the
kinda,
axes. Yeah, the axes stayed the same.
Yeah.
But I change the music or the lighting, or I change up what I'm doing, just to keep things different and fresh. Because after 10 years, I mean, you got to do something different to keep the people entertained. Which is, I've totally, the entrance I was just talking about, I totally redid that this year. New song, I redesigned all the lighting for it. And now I've got like 16 strobe lights going off all at once.
Oh wow.
As I'm spinning through the smoke on a turntable, kind of a thing, and very like just super powerful and high energy. I changed, different song. The new act and the cup and spike.
Right.
Involved. That was a new lighting design, a new song, a whole new thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I've tried to keep things different, and for the glass walking act, I've rewritten that a couple times.
And so you have like complete creative control over your whole act. Basically, you get to write, how you're presented. That's interesting. It's all kind of improv, not really improv, but you're creating it.
Yeah.
You maintain creative control. That's sick. Like there's nobody. Yeah. I guess with that. So has there ever been a time where you've been cast or like booked for something, and they're like, "We just want you to be this," we want you to be this thing.
Yeah, there has been. I've done a couple overseas international gigs with some other shows when I'm not on tour with HELLZAPOPPIN. I'm exclusive with HELLZAPOPPIN when it comes to touring and that sort of thing. But like if I'm off, I'm free to do what I want. And I do run things by Bryce. Like, hey, would you have a problem if I went out with this show in South America for a couple weeks? So there's a show that I did that, and they're like, this is, they had my costume, makeup, they knew what they wanted me to do, and they're like, we need to do this, and this, and I'm like, okay, and you got to be open to do that, because I mean, look, the way I look at it is, hey, you're the one, it's your money, I'll do what you want,
Right.
So,
well, I mean, that's it's interesting that you do have the creative control being on tour, on your own tour now, a tour that's named after you. So right. So we're really looking forward to it. I know I'm planning. Right, it's at the Dothan Opera House, and before we kind of wrap up, I do have one question from a fan that wanted to ask you something, and you'd think I'd have my group chat pulled up right away. No, this is a comedian that actually saw you perform not long ago. He goes by the name of Jeff Shock. He was our last guest.
He was super excited when we told him.
Yeah. He said he got to meet you guys. So he wants to know, do you get approached by a lot of fetish people because of your appearance?
I would like to say no, but I am like, I know that probably 90% of the chicks I get when I'm on the road is because they want to find out.
Yeah.
And I have no like, hey,
R2D2 leg.
if y'all want to find out, I'll be more, there's only one way. There's
he's
only
offering.
One way,
I'm sorry.
if you're a female, there's only one way you're gonna find out.
Damn it! I was like, he's offering us backstage passes. Like I got excited. No, we look forward to seeing you. Before we let you go, Shorty, we always do this bit with Ross where it's guess the impression, and so just listen to him and try to guess who he's impersonating.
Well, all right, Jimbo. Your mother and I are headed to the supermarket today. I want you to be on your best behavior.
We never get it.
That is.
Can I get it one more time?
Go ahead, one more time.
Why, absolutely, Jimbo. Jib, jab, Jimbo. You're my favorite son.
Oh, I do know. Yeah, I do know now.
I know the person's name.
It's got to be some kind of 50s TV dad.
It's pretty close. It's the dad from Jimmy Neutron, isn't it?
Q Neutron.
Okay,
Fucking knew it.
all right, okay.
I was with him. I thought it was like not Leave It to Beaver, but something like that.
Like My Three Sons or some shit.
Yeah, the black and white. Yeah.
Yeah, some kind of 50s TV dad kind of thing going on there. Yeah.
I've got a lot of unbridled rage I'm about to unleash on your mother.
Well, with that being said, is there anything you, aside from the show on May the 4th, is there anything you want to plug? Your social media handles, anything? Where can we find you at?
You can find me on Instagram, short_e_dangerously. And you can also get HELLZAPOPPIN CIRCUS SIDESHOw on Instagram, HELLZAPOPPIN CIRCUS on Facebook, and HELLZAPOPPIN.com for all the tour dates and upcoming shows. We've got
how many more shows are left on the tour?
On this,
or you guys are actually y'all just started, yeah. So you've got a pretty good bit.
No, actually, we're getting towards the end
okay.
of this run.
I think we're
just about out of time.
Yeah, I was about to say I think we're at the end of the pod.
Poppin', hell yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you for being on, and I'll send you the link once we're done here.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, man, that'd be great. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Peace out.
Yep.
Yeah. Yo, get it twisted. This rap shit is mine. Mother X gon' give it to you. Fuck, wait for you to get it on your own. X gon' deliver to you. Knock, knock, open up the door, it's real. With the non-stop pop out and stainless steel. Go hard, getting busy with it. But I got such a good heart that I make a motherfucker wonder if we did. Damn right, and I do it again. I am like, so I got to win. Break bread with the enemy. No matter how many cats I break bread with, I break who you sending me. You motherfuckers never wanted nothing but your life saved. Bitch, and that's on a life day. I'm getting down. Like a nigga said, freeze. So hope be the one ended up on his knees. Bitch, please. If the only thing you can't steal was came out to play, stay out my way, motherfucker. You'll be gonna roll.